Hello, everybody. It is Tom, and we are back today with episode 5 of Heartstopper. Yes. So I wanted to say thank you yet again to everyone who has been liking and commenting and subscribing. It's absolutely amazing, and it's been wonderful reading your comments and hearing about what you've noticed and what you think about the show. So awesome. Please keep it up. And as I said at the end of my last video, if you want to follow me on Twitter or Twitch or Instagram, please do so. As far as with Twitter, at least, I tend to follow most people back, so we can be like mutual acquaintances. I don't know. I should mention I'm tired as usual. So yeah, I'm not to be held responsible for my actions. That's how things work, right? Yeah. Okay, anyway, so let's get into it. So in our last episode, we left off on some drama where Nick had accepted a date with Imogen because there wasn't much else he could do in that situation. And Tao and Elle overheard, and it was awkward, and yeah, so that's where we were. So let's move right in to episode 5, which is called Friend. Okay, let's do it. Monopoly, ruiner of friendships, divider of families, destroyer of worlds.
Because I'm clearly winning. I just have unlucky rolls.
No, I'm winning because I have more money.
I have to be on Charlie's side on this, and I have to be on Charlie's side on this.
You only have more
Sorry,
money
Tal.
because you know all the Monopoly cheats.
You can't cheat at Monopoly.
Oh, whoops.
Isaac, legend.
Draw?
Draw.
Thank God.
Yeah, I love that we're getting a chance to see the friend group hanging out and having fun together, doing a sleepover. It's just awesome.
There's never a good time to tell someone that their crush is going on a date with someone else. And I just don't like Nick. I've seen him with those nasty 11s at the school gate.
Yeah, so Tao's saying very clearly here, I just don't like Nick. And it's interesting that the only thing he can say to back that up is that he's seen Nick with those nasty year 11s. So he clearly has no other reason to dislike Nick. It's kind of interesting because, like, Tao is judging Nick for hanging out with Harry and not really stopping Harry from any of his behavior. And later on, Nick does the same thing for some of his other friends, like Sai and Christian and Otis, who we know from the comics are some of his best friends, but they just stand by and let Harry bully Charlie, and so Nick decides to cut off the friendship with them. So I mean, I think it's not great that Tao is judging Nick in this way, but I mean, Nick does the same thing later, and it definitely makes sense, you know.
If they say anything mean to Charlie,
Crush them.
I'm going to crush them.
Crush them?
Verbally. Let's tell him when he gets back.
Fine. If it'll make you stop talking about it.
I love that Elle is very patient and supportive, but even she has a breaking point.
Should I perhaps perform a piece of interpretive dance?
Please no. Oh no. Yep. I do wonder if this was choreographed or if this is just straight out of William Gao's imagination.
So, I was thinking of inviting Nick to my birthday thing on Saturday. I really want him to come, but I don't want it to be awkward or weird for any of you since you don't really know him.
No, it wouldn't be awkward.
I assumed he was coming anyway.
Isaac knows. I mean, we know Isaac knows. And like, Isaac, absolute legend, does not in any way share the fact that he knows that Nick and Charlie are a thing, just is quietly supportive in the corner. Excellent. Oh, I didn't notice before, but it has a little arcade sound when friend comes along. Foreshadowing. Okay.
About our date. See, I wasn't sure if... Are you okay?
My dog died last night.
Of course her dog died. Of course. When else would her dog die but right at this moment?
I'm so sorry.
It was really old, like we knew it was coming.
Oh, pup. I hope that actual pup is very happy and still alive.
This is the worst week ever. What were you going to say about our date?
Nothing.
Oh, Nick. Yeah, Nick bearing the curse of being too nice of a guy, but like, honestly, what can you do in that situation when she's just told you that her dog has died? There's nothing you can do there. You can't break her heart at that moment. So I get why Nick did this. I don't think anybody can blame him. I mean, I'm sure somebody could, but they shouldn't.
Ahmed, here. Elliot, here.
Now everybody comments on this, but the pinky touch, so cute.
So it's kind of my birthday on Saturday. Me and my friends are going bowling, and I was going to ask if you wanted to come, but I know you don't really know them, so you don't have to.
Yes.
Nick and Charlie, keep it down, please.
Nick, so enthusiastic about going to Charlie's birthday, disrupts the class. Pinky touch.
Thanks for giving me barely any time to get you a present.
You don't have to get me a present.
No, I am gonna.
I'm serious.
To be fair, Nick was whispering and Charlie was full on talking. Like, he did not lower his voice at all. Oh, they're so cute. It hurts me in the best way.
Hyped for your date on Saturday.
Harry, why is it your business? Why is it always your business?
Harry, don't start. Stop picking on people for no reason.
Aw, you gay for them.
It is good to see that this is the first time that Nick actually, well, I mean, if you don't count the party when he tells Harry he doesn't like him, this is the first time, like, he's standing up to Harry in front of the people he's bullying and, like, actually trying to stop him from bullying. So that's good. Good first step. But the second Harry mentions being gay, Nick just shuts up and shuts down. Like, there's no more words out of Nick after that.
Life must be really hard when your only personality trait is rich bellend.
Now, it's interesting to me also that, like, and this is, of course, this begins one of our favorite segments in Heartstopper, which is Tao destroying Harry, verbally crushing him, as he said. But, like, it's interesting to see that the lads, the friends, don't even hesitate before laughing at Tao's comments about Harry. So, like, they turn on Harry, like, immediately. There's not even, like, any loyalty there to him. Like, they just full-on laugh at him every time Tao makes a comment or every time Tao just, like, eviscerates him verbally. So I think that says a lot about the nature of the relationship there. Like, they're all in the same group. They're friends, but, like, you know, I mean, Nick is willing to stand up for, I almost said Joe, to stand up for Charlie and, you know, and speak up for him. And, like, he doesn't laugh, obviously, when Harry's making fun of Charlie because that would be awful. But, like, the lads, they're more than willing to just, like, burst out laughing. I mean, to be fair, Tao's comebacks are really funny. But, like, yeah, they clearly don't have much loyalty or much, like, personal stake in protecting Harry from verbal assault.
We have to show Harry that he can't just walk all over us.
It's more complicated than that.
Because of Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also interesting here that, like, Charlie is sticking up for Nick. Tao is sticking up for Charlie. Nick is sticking up for Charlie. So, like, we have, like, a circle of sticking up for each other going on here, but no one is happy because it's a bad situation. And I like that when Charlie looks over, Nick is looking back at him. But when Tao looks over, it looks like Nick and Imogen are just, like, having a great boy-girl romance time. And that little glance, like, showing that he's still thinking very much about the fact that Nick is clearly straight and, you know, dating Imogen and is going to hurt Charlie. So Tao's heart is definitely in the right place. Like, he wants to protect Charlie, but unfortunately he has the wrong information. I think it's interesting here, too, that Nick is looking at this picture. Like, I don't think that he's in any way questioning his feelings for Charlie, but it's almost like he's looking at it and thinking, like, you know, is this what my life would be if Charlie had not come into it? Now, I think if Charlie had not come into his life and Imogen had asked him out, I think Nick probably would have accepted, as he did, and would have gone out with her and tried to figure out if he had any feelings for her, and, like, maybe they would have dated for a while before he realized that he wasn't into her in that way. But, you know, here obviously, and maybe that's what he's thinking about when he's looking at her picture. But right underneath, conveniently, picture of Charlie, love of his life. There's no comparison there.
Oh, what's up?
I said I'd go on a date with this girl.
Oh, do you like this girl?
Well, her dog died. A lot of people are expecting us to get together, but I don't think I like her like that.
Yeah, and that's the key to it there. A lot of people are expecting us to get together. Like, it's clear. I mean, obviously Nick knows that he doesn't have any feelings for Imogen beyond just friendship, but the only thing that's pushed him this far into their relationship is the fact that it's what people expect. So I think this speaks again to Nick's usual struggle of like expectation versus what he really wants. And as he says later in the episode about kind of burying his own personality in he buried his nose, news at 11. Burying his own personality and the things that he wants in order to kind of match to what people expect and what his friends think that he should do. So
Don't worry. The right girl will come along. Just you wait.
yeah, about that. But yeah, that kind of thing. If you're a queer person and you grew up, or if you spent time with family and friends not knowing that you were a queer person, so essentially, if you spent time in the closet, this kind of stuff happens a lot, and like it's always kind of a little stab to the secret heart of you. Like, even if the person who's saying it would be completely supportive if they knew, like, the only thing standing between them and accepting you is the fact that they don't know about your sexuality. But, like, they will say little things like that are just meant to be harmless, but nonetheless really hurt.
You came.
Yeah, of course I did.
So I'm glad that Nick finally texts Imogen and tells her that he's not going to show up to their date. But, like, the fact that he waits until what has to be the very last minute, because, like, Tao says that they're going to start the party at 4, and presumably Nick has plans with Imogen for that evening, so, like, 7 or 8, I would imagine. So, like, he's cutting it pretty close. Like, she's probably getting ready, she's probably putting on makeup, and, like, so that's not cool. Like, Nick, you knew when you talked to your mom that you should not go out with Imogen, not with your mom. I mean, you shouldn't go out with your mom either. But like, so yeah, I do kind of just a little bit at that decision, because he definitely should have told her a lot sooner than that. But I understand that it's a hard thing to do, and maybe he was planning to go on the date and talk to her about it there. So I don't know, but regardless. Tao immediately looking unhappy. Yeah, one thing I'm really hoping that we get in the hopeful season 2. I mean, I'd accept a season 3 as well. But like, one thing I really hope we get in season 2 is kind of Nick and Tao becoming friends, because that is something that happens in the comics, and like, it would just be very nice to see, because I really do like Tao, despite some of his questionable actions. Nick is amazing, and he deserves all the good things, and I want Tao to see that and be friends with him.
Everyone, this is Nick.
Yeah, much respect to Nick for being able to walk into this situation and be like confident and friendly and calm, and not like terrified about the fact that his boyfriend's friends, one of whom really doesn't like him, are meeting him for the first time, like, officially.
Can you at least try to get to know him?
I'll try.
Thanks, Tao. And it really cannot be overstated, like, how bad they all are at bowling. Like, obviously, Nick is great, Elle is great, but, like, Tao and Charlie and Isaac are just awful. Almost hugged. And of course, Charlie being the one to apologize despite the fact that they both almost hugged each other. That look on Nick's face, he is not subtle.
You definitely cheated.
Oh yeah? How?
Strong rugby arms.
Strong rugby arm.
You okay?
Yeah. I'm good.
Very convincing, Tao. Of course, noticing that Radio Silence, one of Alice Oseman's books, is right there, and like I do like the fact that I don't know if you haven't, you should watch Toby Donovan, who plays Isaac, his vlogs, which he's been posting on his YouTube channel about like kind of behind the scenes stuff, but the fact in the original comics the other friend is Aled, and Isaac kind of replaces him in the show, but Toby apparently wanted to like kind of have nods towards Aled in the show. So like at one point he's wearing like a ladybug jumper as kind of a a nod towards Aled, and here he's holding Radio Silence, so it's nice. It's a nice touch.
I'm gonna go talk to him.
About? Tao, no.
And I do wonder what him and I wonder what Isaac and Nick are talking about in this section. Like, are they discussing I kind of half wonder if they're discussing the plot of Radio Silence. I swear he's talking about Radio Silence. I swear. Like, the words that you can pick up definitely sound like the plot of Radio Silence. So, in which case, yes, Nick, you should read it. Poor Charlie. Like, he's all happy, and then Tao comes in. Although like, Tao's entrance to the restroom in the comics, I will now share with you. Let's see. Where's the bullet scene? But yeah, here we are. So, like, Charlie's in the bathroom. Okay. Charlie turns. And then, come on, focus. Tao's just standing there looking pissed with his hands on his hip. Yeah. One of my favorite Tao postures there. Okay, very important segue there. So, let's continue.
Oh, hi.
Poor Charlie.
Charlie, look, I'm saying this to you as a friend. You need to stop this thing with Nick Nelson.
No, he doesn't. What?
He's going on a date with this girl.
That can't be true.
Fine. Don't believe me. I'm clearly just lying for fun.
Yeah, I mean, Tao thinks he's doing the right thing here, but, like, the timing is terrible. It's his birthday.
I'll also accept a can of Coke if you're paying.
Yeah, I love that Elle and Isaac just immediately accept Nick and, recognize the wonderful person that he is, and are willing to let him buy them cans of Coke. Yeah, now, if you look closely, you can see that there's actually a sign to the right in the back that says washrooms, because apparently the actual bowling alley arcade place, like, the room, the door that Nick listens next to, that we think leads to the bathroom, actually leads to the kitchen, which makes sense when you see what the door looks like. But, of course, they needed it to be right next to the snack bar, so they kind of made it look like that was the bathroom, but you can actually see the washroom sign pointing to a totally different location, so it does look like a super, super cool place, though. I would love to go bowling in this place.
And now you're going to tell me I'm just being jealous because you made a new friend and I'm scared of being alone.
I mean...
Aren't you?
No!
And Tao says no here, and, like, I think it's definitely not his only motivation, but he definitely is... He definitely just called himself out there, like he is jealous and he is scared of being alone, but he does have other reasons here.
I just don't like seeing him mess with you.
But he's...
Yeah, and as soon as Charlie says you can see kind of a little look of panic in Nick's face because he's afraid that Charlie is going to out him.
He's... my friend.
And then kind of relief and sadness from Nick. Like, I can only imagine what he's feeling in this moment, because, like, obviously he doesn't want Charlie to out him, but at the same time, like, Charlie is essentially losing this argument with Tao because he can't just say that Nick is his boyfriend. So I'm sure Nick, once again, feels pretty guilty about that.
Hi. Hi. Are you getting more food?
I like how even though Charlie is very confused as to why he is being suddenly desperately embraced by the snack bar, he can't help just being really into it, because I mean, who wouldn't be being hugged by Nicholas Nelson in this manner? Of course, we have these lovely animations. I should also mention, shout out to the bisexual lighting throughout this whole sequence.
Good game.
Good game.
Now, I have to say, like, interactions between Nick and Tao, I really enjoy. Like, the scene in episode 8 where they kind of have lunch together is one of my favorite scenes. And this scene also had a lot of potential, but let's watch it and then we'll talk about it.
Chip?
Thanks.
So, a little peace offering from Tao.
I don't know if this thing with Charlie is a joke or not, but for some reason he really likes you, and you're messing with him, and I will not tolerate it. So consider this your final warning.
Nick looks very, very panicked.
Yeah. You're right.
Now, the fact that Nick says, "Yeah, you're right," always kind of confuses me, because like Tao is essentially saying, like, I'm warning you not to mess around, like not to play with Charlie's feelings, essentially, like not to lead him on. And I mean, Nick knows obviously that he's not leading Charlie on, and I feel like there was so much potential here for Nick to say something or do something that would show Tao, I mean, not necessarily come out to him, but show him that he's not planning to hurt Charlie in any way. But instead he just says, "Yeah, you're right," which I don't know how Tao is supposed to interpret, other than like, "Yeah, you're right, I am messing him around," or like, "Yeah, you're right, I should be warned." I don't know. So I'm not really sure what Nick means by "you're right" in this case.
You're a good friend.
I know.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen the blooper reel, this scene, I mean, like, I would find it very difficult not to burst out laughing if Will Gao was, like, staring at me, maintaining eye contact and, like, eating a fry, but there's the, Kit understandably had some trouble.
Yes, before someone occupies the dance machine.
And let's note the the fact that Tao cuts between Nick and Charlie. So, like, very not subtle there with his mission in life to separate them.
Okay, come on.
Yeah, has anyone out there won anything out of a claw machine? Because not me.
Okay, I'm almost out of money now.
Don't look at me. I'm not giving you more just so you can lose again.
Fine. I see how it is. So I kind of overheard you and Tao in the bathroom earlier. I wanted to say sorry about the date with Imogen thing.
Okay, now here I have to mention something that didn't occur to me until my second or third watch, but, like, the odd thing is Nick did not hear them talking about Imogen. Like, Tao brought up the fact that Nick was going on a date with a girl before Nick even went over to the snack bar, so he technically should not have heard them talking about that at all. So it could just be that that's high in his mind regarding Charlie, or maybe Tao and Charlie were talking about it one more time before they left the bathroom and before Nick stopped listening that we just didn't hear. But nonetheless, it seemed a little strange to me that, like, Nick, I mean, of course, it's something that they need to talk about, but, like, he didn't hear them, so, yeah.
You actually went on a date with her?
No. She just asked me out and I was so surprised, and all our mates were watching and expecting me to say yes, and I was such an idiot. I just blurted out yes because I didn't know how to say no without embarrassing her and confusing all our mates. And then her dog died, and I felt really bad for her, and I'm so sorry.
I think it's very cool that, like, in many other teen shows, the situation of Nick going on a date with Imogen would be, like, some drawn out, dramatic, like horrible situation that, you know, neither of them would talk to each other for a week or two, and like there would be a lot of sad montages of like Charlie watching the rain go down the window pane. But here, like, Nick just like flat out tells him exactly what happened, and Charlie's like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense, and that's it. Like, it's not a big deal. So like, communication. This show does an excellent job of modeling healthy relationships, and like just the simple fact that Nick and Charlie generally just are upfront with one another and tell each other the truth and talk things out, and then they're fine. So, yeah.
I wish I'd met you when I was younger. I wish I'd known then what I know now.
Now, in the comics, he says this, Nick says this because he's thinking back on Charlie being bullied and wishing that, you know, he had known Charlie then so he could have stuck up for him and made Charlie's life less awful during that time when he's being bullied. But here, they don't really go into that. So we're left to kind of imagine what his thought process might be here. Like, maybe he's just wishing in general that he could have had more time liking Charlie, or maybe he's wishing that he'd been younger when he'd figured out that he was something other than straight. I don't know. It's very much left up to our interpretation.
No being sad on my birthday.
So, are you going to open my present then?
Yeah, as long as you don't mind.
Well, I kind of want to see your reaction. I genuinely didn't have time to go out and buy you something.
This present, man.
Sorry, it's a bit handmade. That was just one of my favourite days ever.
This present, like, oh my God. How Charlie does not melt into a pile of Charlie Spring on the floor, I do not know.
I really like you.
You like me?
Wasn't that obvious?
I mean, obvious to everyone else, well, except Tao.
Do you like me?
Yes, obviously.
Why are we like this?
I want to kiss you so bad right now.
Okay.
You don't have to.
I want to.
You sure?
Yeah.
Now, this moment has to mean so much, like, to Charlie, for one thing, because, remember, Charlie is coming from the relationship with Ben, and Ben, like, you know, would only kiss him in, like, the dark corners of the library or the music room, and here is Nick, like, willing to kiss him in a public place. I mean, they're basically shielded from any prying eyes, but nonetheless, like, this is huge. This is a big step. And I love that Charlie asks him twice. Like, he says, you don't have to, and Nick says, no, I want to. And then Charlie asks him again, like, are you sure? Like, he's really making sure that Nick is comfortable with this before they move forward, which is great. Yeah, and this song is a great song, Paper Mache World, but the lyric that we just heard is, I'd find you in any world, which is very interesting because it's a theme that we see crop up in some of, like, the mini comics that Alice Oseman does. Like, she does some AU versions of Nick and Charlie in just different, you know, alternate universe situations, and in one of them, Nick, who is a robot, it's a good one, but Nick, like, outright says something like that, like, I'd find you in any universe, or I'd find you in every universe, or something like that. So it's just, again, a really cool instance of the lyrics just absolutely fitting this show. Kind of similar to the fact that Nick and Charlie are always saying, why are we like this? And then Nick earlier has a scene with the song Why Am I Like This playing. So yeah, it's just a very cool detail. And immediately look around. No, we're safe. We're good. And Nick doing the right thing, but a little bit late. A little late, Nick. Better late than never, but, you know. Isaac quietly getting rich in the background. Go, Isaac. Think how many books you can buy with that.
You want to get slushies?
God, yes.
God, yes. Correct response. Yeah, and this whole section with the stars bursting by Elle's head as she kind of has that first moment of realizing that she might feel something for Tao. And then we can see the stars from the game reflected in her glasses, giving her literal stars in her eyes. Like, just really beautiful. Yeah, and I like, too, how, initially it's just that happiness and joy of, like, oh my god, I really like this person. But then it kind of fades to that, oh shit, I have a crush on my friend, and there's no way that this can end well. Now, I feel like Nick's heart is in the right place in the fact that he brings Nellie along, but, like, this was a gamble, Nick. This was a gamble. Like, if I had just lost my beloved dog, I'm not sure I would be up to seeing someone else's adorable dog at that time. I might just burst into tears at the sight of them. But his heart is in the right place. He wants her to feel not awful.
Oh my god, is this Nelly?
Sorry about yesterday.
It's okay.
Imogen saying it's okay in a way that clearly shows it is not okay. But, like, yeah, I mean, I think she's totally within her rights to be upset. I mean, Nick told her he would go out with her, granted, she did not notice the many obvious signs that he was not interested in her prior to this, but he did say yes, and they had solid plans, and then he texted her saying, sorry, I can't make it, like, very shortly before the date, so it does make sense that she's a little upset here. But at least he's doing the right thing now.
You're a really nice person, but I don't like you like that.
Yeah, kind of rough, but I think he said it in the clearest way possible, which, I mean, given how Imogen is not really picking up on the subtle signs, he pretty much had to lay it out for her like that. And this is another episode where, like, the title could have a few different meanings. Like, the title of episode 3, Kiss, could refer to Tara and Darcy's kiss on the dance floor that finally, like, motivates Nick to move forward with his relationship with Charlie. Or, of course, it could refer to the kiss between Nick and Charlie. Where, in this episode, friend could, of course, refer to, Charlie saying he's my friend when he's covering up for Nick in the bathroom with Tao, or it could refer to the fact that Nick is telling Imogen, I only like you as a friend here. So, a lot of possibilities here.
Do you ever feel like you're only doing things because everyone else is, and you're scared to change or do something that might confuse or surprise people? Your real personality has been, like, buried inside you for a really long time.
Yeah, I love this dialogue. Like, Kit delivers it so well, obviously, because he delivers everything so well, but, like, the way that he expresses that feeling is just so on point and so relatable. Like, I think most of us have succumbed to peer pressure at some point, or have felt like we couldn't be who we really are with other people for one reason or another. So the fact that he's able to articulate that is really impressive. And, like, Imogen, I don't think that she is catching on to what's going on beneath the surface here. Like, I don't think she's having a light bulb moment of, like, oh, he's probably gay or bi or something. I think she's just, understanding that he doesn't feel, basically, that he's not the persona that he's been putting forth all this time in their friendship group. And, like, essentially they don't really know each other. She doesn't really know Nick as well as she thought she did. Which doesn't mean that they can't know each other better in the future, but just at this point, like, the Nick that she's gotten to know is not necessarily the real Nick.
Thanks for being honest.
And Nick just heaves this absolute sigh of relief, like, oh, thank God. Which, fair enough. Like, I would have been terrified going into this situation. Like, that is so hard, especially if you're a nice person, to tell someone, like, I just don't like you like that. And also, I feel like that's the closest he has come to coming out to someone in his friend group or like anyone really at this point in the show. So like the fact that he tells her that much about his inner feelings, even if he doesn't spell it out exactly, is another huge step forward for him.
So, how was your date?
Piss off, Harry.
We decided we were better off as friends.
Alright, what did Nick do?
Nothing. I just think I can do better.
Yeah, and like there are a lot of, I think Imogen takes a lot of missteps throughout her journey, but like she's a good person. Like this above all else proves it. Like it's clear that they're closer now than ever before. They have a new understanding. She's more than willing to cover for Nick. Like she's not telling anyone what happened. She's just, and of course saying that she can do better, which fair enough. Like he is the one who like said he would go out with her and then didn't stand her up, but like, ditched her fairly close to the date. So she's well within her rights there, but
Proper thick about a girl sometimes, aren't you, mate?
so Harry is always on Nick's case about like having a girlfriend or like being thick about girls and like not bringing a girl with him to the movies later on. But like, where is Harry's girlfriend? Where is Harry's girl? Like he keeps going at Nick about this, but he doesn't have any kind of girlfriend, not surprisingly. But like, yeah. Oh, and speaking of that, there was something else I wanted to talk about, which I'll do after we finish up the episode here in like 2 seconds. Here are our little lovebirds flying into the distance. Yay! But yeah, okay, so speaking of girlfriends, I forgot to mention this last time, but okay, yeah, so one thing I wanted to mention about the rugby match is that Ben and Imogen are sharing an umbrella, and that reminded me of the fact that, like, we never see Ben's girlfriend again. Like, we see Ben's girlfriend, I mean, unless I could have missed her in the background of a shot somewhere, but, like, as far as I know, we never see her again. So, like, that brings up an interesting thought. Like, either she dumped him, which she would be well in her rights to do, but I kind of honestly wonder if he broke up with her after Charlie confronted him. Like, we've talked before about how Ben is horrible, but quite an interesting character. And, like, it's clear that he feels something for Charlie. And, like, the kind of desperation that he has and, like, wanting to hold on to his relationship with Charlie, even though it's really twisted and, like, the way that he treats Charlie is horrible. But, like, he clearly feels something for him and wants to continue seeing him. So, like, when Charlie essentially breaks up with him, saying many things, but one of them being, "I've seen you with your girlfriend." I do wonder if Ben then broke up with her, maybe hoping that something could resume between him and Charlie. I don't know. I mean, it could be, again, that maybe she broke up with him. Or maybe, like, he just started being more of a dick to her after what happened with Charlie, because he suddenly, like, I feel like it was probably easier for him to be in a relationship with her if he didn't actually like her. Because we don't know what his sexuality is, but I'm assuming he is gay I'm assuming he's gay rather than bi, based on some of his behavior and some of the things that he said. But, like, I imagine, like, if he's hooking up with Charlie on the side, it's easier for him to kind of pretend to be happy with this girl because, like, he's still getting his needs fulfilled, so to speak. But with Charlie suddenly breaking up with him, I'd imagine it's going to be harder for him to pretend because suddenly his outlet for his real feelings is gone. So maybe he started acting like more of a dick to his girlfriend. Maybe he broke up with her. Maybe she just finally realized that he's a tool and, like, broke up with him. But whatever the case, I think it's interesting that she's never seen again. So, okay, so anyway, that is the end of episode 5, Friend. And yeah, this is another great episode. Like, they're all great episodes. I'm just gonna say that. They're all great. There's not a single episode that I dislike. Even the ones that have even the one, because there's really only one that has some really heavy stuff in it. But yeah, so looking forward to next episode, which I think next episode, episode 6, Girls, is probably one of the high points of the series as far as like Nick and Charlie's relationship. I mean, obviously episode 8 is the highest point, but like we're kind of moving on an upward trend, and then we hit episode 6 and it's like this is great. Everything's going great. And then, episode 7, ooh, but then episode 8 we're way up high. But yeah, what am I even babbling about? Who knows? Okay, well, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you let me know your thoughts and any insights that you have, or things you want to talk about. I'm always happy to read comments, regardless of how long they are. I love the essay comments that I've received. They are wonderful. As I said in another comment, like if there was a university course, a college course on Heartstopper, I would absolutely be enrolled in that and be happily like writing 10-page essays every single class. So like, share with me your Heartstopper essays. Share with me your feelings, your character dissections. I don't know. Share with me. Okay, well, thank you very much. And yep, that's all I have to say. Thanks. Okay, bye.